had so many accidents. I want to say 1910.
Yeah.
They did spiral tunnels where the train goes into a mountain, goes in a spiral, comes out to the other side, goes to another mountain, goes to a spiral.
No
comes
way.
down. How they engineered that with no technology.
Yeah.
I understand making a hole.
Right.
Straight hole tunnel, I get that.
Yeah.
Do that. But GPS, nothing. And how they did that, it was amazing. So I was floored by that.
Man, those guys with those slide rules were smarter than we are now with our computers. That just their horsepower up here.
And it was just dynamite and Chinese making those tunnels.
Yeah.
But whoever engineered that.
Yeah.
Of course, in Switzerland, I think they do like a corkscrew.
Uh-huh.
But it was like a big figure eight. In fact, we saw had to be 1,000 cars, but I was exaggerating. This big freight train goes into the tunnel, comes out to the other side. You can still see the train going into the tunnel.
Oh.
Went to the other tunnel, came out the other side. You can still see the cars going in, so he
man.
can see himself.
It's like a snake that's went in one hole. And
It was awesome.
You guys, y'all ready?
yes, sir.
Let's do it.
We're being recorded now, so
Oh,
Better
better behave.
lights on. Mr. Atkinson's running behind. I haven't heard from him, so I don't know. Just on our agenda right now, I guess we really can't call to order since everybody's here, but we didn't have any minutes from last meeting. We just kind of give you guys an update on what was going on. Just a few of us here. I sent out our financials through the email. Everything we have going on. You guys have any questions about that?
Not about the financials. And I've mentioned before, fuel sales is the biggest source of income other than city funding, right? And grant funding.
Yep.
How do you track the margin you're making off of that? And watch that and see if it's getting better or worse.
Yeah. So we get self-serve there. So we get fuel for $2. This is what everybody does, so it's not a secret, all airports. But so we get fuel for $2 a gallon from Satterfield, who our suppliers. We do $1 a gallon profit.
So it's pretty easy to calculate.
It's
You get
very
a buck.
easy. Yeah.
So
on all of it.
when we see your charts, the month we sold 30,000 gallons, that's $30,000
That's right.
of gross income to
Yes,
the
sir.
airport. Well, that's pretty easy then.
Now, self-serve, so jet fuel's like that. Self-serve, if you decide, if Jeff didn't do as well this month and his flying budget's a little low, he may go to self-serve, and that's 50 cents profit. So jet gas, you can calculate it that way. Avgas, I look at our self-serve for that month and do it that way.
So our margin's fixed.
Yes.
It's $1 a gallon. You don't.
So big kind of net revenue, right? So it'd be net revenue, the cost of the money received minus the cost of the product.
Right, but it's $1 a gallon.
Yeah.
So it's not something you can really monkey with a whole lot.
No. Well, I do. So we also have this thing called CA. It's a membership. They pay $500 for that a year annually to those guys. We don't do that. Now that deal is, if they're CA members, I have to be 10 cents cheaper than the lowest price of the fuel. We are the only price of the fuel. So in our AvPOS system we use, it's just a CA button. We just click CA 90 cent. It does 90 cents for us.
It's interesting. At Fargo International, Hector International in Fargo on Sunday, when I flew there for the UCA game,
Mm-hmm.
and Moorhead, Minnesota, which is 9 miles away, the difference was almost $3 a gallon for avgas.
But you remember,
No. I'm just saying that just the full service
it
difference.
can vary that much.
And I can, and I do. So if I base a lot of my stuff off Little Rock, that's what I get a lot of my traffic off. Little Rock's like $3 more than me.
Really?
Yeah, they're super high, but they're a private airport, like private FBO. We all do the game. All the city-run airports and stuff around the state, they'll look like, oh, Jake's at $3 a gallon. I'm going to go to $2.95. Whatever they can entice more. So if I see someone, if I'm way lower than other people, I'll raise it up, and I'm still getting $1 plus 30 cents maybe now. So
Okay.
we play that game too, but a safe bet's just looking easy, quick math, just $1. So,
Okay.
And our fuel cells, I mean, they're steady going up. I hate it. I love it and I hate it. I hate it for my planning budget wise because we're just steady climbing. So it's hard for me to budget for next year and saying I have a better estimate this year than we did last year. run some better numbers, but I mean, we're breaking. In August of last year, we pumped 20,000. We pumped 30,000 this August. So, and the same thing in June, we were up 10,000 gallons too. June, we were up 20,000 gallons. So we're just constantly selling and growing. So that's fantastic. I mean, like you said, all the city makes revenue off of is fuel sales and hangar rent. So that's great. I just hate it because I'll probably have to go back in a few months and ask the city for some more money for gas. But
That's a good problem to have, right?
it is, and we get it. I mean, we get it back. It's not like but what else? My director's report. Just brought up our fuel. We are one employee short right now. So if you guys know anybody or out and about and hear somebody say, hey, you're a smart young man or young lady, there's a job out there.
You said it's challenging with the rate you can pay. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it's like $15 an hour.
15.
So, I mean, it's the same as other jobs around here, but like our guys are pulling around $1 million planes in charge of millions of dollars of fuel and stuff like that. So it's trying to argue that case, and I always want to fight for them more money and more pay, of course, for my people, but I understand it from the city standpoint as well.
Let me ask you this. Do we ever post our jobs with the A&P program over at Pulaski Tech?
No.
I just
Those guys get like $40, $45, $50 an
No.
hour.
I'm talking about the school. So you got students that are in the school.
It's also our HR does a fantastic job. They put on they blast it to all those sites.
I'm just wondering if we ought to just, maybe you form a relationship with the head of the school and say, hey, just want to let you know I've got a line tech job open in Conway if you want to post it. Because I do that a lot of times for folks who have a business job. I'll send it to the dean of the College of Business and say, hey, would you mind circulating this among your students?
So
That might be something
just
to
guess
think
about. Yeah.
Or ask her to put them on her list and send it to them.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm trying to come up. There's way before I got here. So we do early calls and late calls, and I'm gonna try to circle this avenue too. So if Jeff needs to leave at 6 a.m., we don't open till 8, he'll call and have his jet pulled out, and we charge them $65 for that fee. If it's more than 24 hours in advance, and $100 if it's less than.
And just for the record, Jeff's hypothetically, because Jeff pulls his own plane.
That's right. In case your wife's watching.
Because I'm cheap.
Those are mainly for Jeeps. Hardly ever do we do prop planes.
Yeah.
But so I might try to get that go directly to the employee, because the city, we're already getting the fuel cells from that pull out. Because we're fueling that plane, we're pulling it out, fueling the plane, they go on about their business. So
how often do you get called after hours?
If not every day.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Wow. Had no idea.
Yeah. We had 2 this morning.
Is that right?
And that's what I mean. Like just 2, that's $120 that they would get. $130 they would get.
So the employee would benefit from that
100%.
directly.
Yeah. So we would have to raise our wages. We could leave those the same, just give this an added
That's
benefit.
a great idea.
I love that.
So
That's a great
I'm
idea.
just try to see how we can do that with HRO.
You
But-
getting overtime challenges, wage and hour law?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's,
Well, that'd be considered bonus. I mean, you could probably calculate that as just a bonus, and it not be wage.
they used to do it before. I know other airports do it. So there may be a way out there.
Yeah.
I told them I'd look into it because it was just something that was brought to me. I was like, hey, they used to do this. And I kind of looked into it, but I don't know. So we'll see. The mayor is very receptive to any conversation. So I'm not worried about it at all. I'm always going to look out for my people. So, but we do have a job opening there. Everybody else is doing great. I'll skip that chapter there. So we have someone wanting to build out there, a 60 by 80. And we have 3 slots over there for new hangar builds. In order for them to be ready to build, the city's going to owe about $100,000 for groundwork, so sewage and electricity. So we're already going to be on the hook for that to get it ready for those people to build. Well, talking with Jeff last month or so, the Arkansas Aeronautics Division, they used to do $250,000 grants. They upped it to $500,000. And then we would do a 10% match for $50,000. I can then do all that work out of it and build the city a 60 by 80 for $50,000. So I can get the lease revenue that I would generate from that hangar would pay for that 50 grand in 3 years versus $100,000 that we just have to write that we never get back. So it's kind of no brainer. So I'm gonna take it to city council next week and let them aware of that and let them know that we're wanting to apply for that grant, try to get that going, because that'll be, that's a lot better than $100,000 we're never going to see anything back from, instead of just paying 50 and get a hangar out of the deal.
Yep.
As well. So I'm looking
That's
at
a
that
great
too.
program.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And I'm glad the Arkansas guys are willing to do that, because federal, they don't.
Right.
So I'm glad that Arkansas is really pushing
And
for
then,
that.
and then the 80/20
Mhm.
is for infrastructure and a lot of those kinds of things. So
They've really stepped up their money.
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate for that.
I've been, it's been real educational for me to participate in those
Absolutely.
processes.
So I'll keep digging into it. Hopefully we'll know something next week. I'm working on our budget currently right now. It's due in October. I should be done probably next week. I'm meeting up with the contractors for the rehab next week, next Thursday, next Wednesday. The contractors come down, and our Carver engineer, Jordan, is going to come in as well. We're going to take a look, try to get a better time frame so I can push this out to these guys. I've given everybody some emails of as much information as I have. Talking with our NOTAMs people that we send out if we have any closures or anything. I have a couple workaround to help some of these smaller planes out, so I'm feeling a lot better about it. Instead of just closing everything, we'll be able to use the taxiway. And then just talking with our engineer, we're not going to be shut down for that whole time frame, so I can be able to close out, let them finish, go take lunch, and have a jet or two take off and land and stuff like that. So we're only going to be closed for about 4 days, completely closed down, 3 or 4 days. So
Good.
yeah, that'd be great. Or they could come back next week, like, no, we need to shut down for a month. But I've already talked to the FAA guys.
I love that, because compared to the first version of that, that gives you the opportunity to fulfill your mission.
Sure.
And, mission first kind of thing, even if it costs you a little more, and it probably is costing a little more.
Yep.
That warms my heart, because I think, the customers
Absolutely.
are just going to love that, in relative to being shut down for a
That's
month.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know there's workarounds, just you got to ask the right questions and talk to the right people. And
Yeah. Good job.
so we'll see.
I like that.
But I'll know more next week, and I'll send you guys an email probably Thursday or Friday with what the picture is going to look like. So, other than that, I don't know that I have anything else. Robbie Wills is building that new 100 by 100 hangar out there next to his. Then I've got one more 100 by 100 block that's open.
He's building a 100 by 100
Robbie is.
to expand his existing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is it a separate hangar, or is he adding?
It's
on?
separate.
Separate.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that got poured Tuesday, I guess, concrete. So it's moving right along. Other than that, I'm just working the hangar deal. I'm going to take it to city council next week, get that on the agenda, give them kind of a heads up what we're looking to do. But I mean, to me, it's kind of no brainer. Spend $50,000 and get something out of it continually and we get rent on that forever. So,
Oh, yeah.
or $100,000 we light a fire and let people build on it. But, we'll get those 3 people that are going to be building there they'll pay us a ground lease portion. So it's like 30 cents a square foot a year. So it's not a ton, but it would take a long time to get that 30 cents a square foot out of 100,000. So, other than that, I don't really have anything.
So that if everything works the way you want it to, there's one spot left for that size hangar.
Mhm.
What about future growth after that?
Yep. So this past year, I sent a request in the Senator Bozeman's office for money, a couple million to grow onto that corporate side. So add another taxi lane down there, expand the taxi lanes, build us another hangar, 100 by 100 closer to the FBO, and then build another corporate ramp north of where it is now.
Okay.
It didn't get passed through, but I'm going to apply it, as first I can at the beginning of the year and ask again. Other than that, it's going to be, I've got some room to build, not 100 by 100s, but maybe like one more 60 by 80. And then my 5-year plan after the runway extension 24 and 25, we're going to build 2 more set of T hangars down there as well. So that'll bring 24 new planes. But building that 60 by 80, just that single 60 by 80 that I'm asking for next week, that'll give us 5 new spots available, and get 5 new aircraft in here. I've got a 50-person wait list, so
I was going to ask you what your wait list is now.
about 54, 55
Is that for the big planes or
Small.
for the jets or for the
small planes.
small ones?
Yeah,
Okay.
we've got a waiting list for jets too. People would pay a lot of money to get out of Little Rock and how much they charge and stuff like that. So we don't have anywhere to put them. So, which I hate telling people that I'm sorry.
Yeah. But you think 2025, you're going to have 2 more? Or start them or
Start it,
finish
yeah,
them?
because we've got to do the concrete dirt work and then
Okay.
build as well. So, like I said, in order for the FAA to pay for those things, you have to have all these safety agendas done. I had a meeting with them Tuesday. 2 individuals from the FAA came out. I showed them our plan, showed them around the airport, and one was a engineer, and he's like, "Oh, you're like one of the ones that your lights are on and they're on their position and everything's working." I was like, "Well, it's beautiful out there. I don't know how long it's been since you guys have been out there, but we do a really good job of cleaning everything up and mowing, and you have to do all those things, and we have to take care of the runway, and in order for them to pay for the hangar stuff, because they won't fund fuel or hangars because it generates money. So unless you do all those things, but yeah, we're doing really well. Super proud of our team, and they're working real hard. So
Remind me when we get to maybe bump up to that next classification of airport.
I'm having them pull all that records right now again. I think we're really, really close. I hate to say anything now because I said we should be there last year, and we should have, I think. So you have to have operations, airplanes on the field, jets on the field, and then international flights.
Right.
And then we should be there pretty soon. So I would say within 12 months, I hope.
That changes the financial equation a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it goes from 250 to 800,000. So we get a lot more done with that. But yeah. You guys have any questions for me?
It looks like a lot of sunshine.
It's great, man. I
It's a lot of-
don't want to jinx it. I hate to say that, but
Yeah.
it's been really good. We've got a good rhythm out there and great team. I think all of our customers are super happy with how everything works and how everything's flowing, the response they're getting, and the customer service out there. And that's really what I focus on. We can look at our numbers, our fuel numbers, and see where we make more of, and it's jets. But I don't want to not focus on all of our smaller prop planes guys, because those are our home customers. Those are the guys that pay the rent, pay the bills, and they're here. And I don't want to ever lose sight of that, because jets is where we make a ton of our bulk, but those guys is who stays consistent. So,
Well, there's a lot of entities that would be just give anything to have a report like that. It's pretty much maxing out in every category. So, good job, man.
yeah, thank you.
You said something about an event in October. You just didn't know the date yet in your report is that to start off the markings and all that?
Yes, so it'll be after next week, after next Thursday, Wednesday. I'll be able to tell you guys an exact time frame of when we're going to do that. So I'll send
It'll be
another
later in the
email.
month, or
I'm sorry,
will it be later in October or early?
mid to late October.
Okay.
Anywhere from 4 to 5 weeks, 3 to 5 weeks, probably I'll say, for the closure of the runway. And it's not the whole runway. It's just the joints on mainly the arrival part of 4 and 22. So hopefully, cross my fingers, it doesn't take as long as we think. That's why I keep the same 5 weeks. That way, here we are at 4 weeks, and they're got all their equipment off the field before it, 6 weeks, and people are asking a lot of questions. So I'm saying kind of 5 weeks is what I've been told from our engineers. So I'll know a lot more next Wednesday.
Okay.
So I'll follow up with an email and kind of let you guys know what everything time frame wise we're looking.
Great.
Thank you.
So yeah.
Are you confident we're going to meet on the 26th next month?
Yeah, I'd like to, if you guys can, if everybody can make it. If no one can make it, I'll just send
It's
you
on
guys
my
an email.
calendar, so I
Yeah,
just wanna make sure.
26. We'll leave it on there for now. If I'll send an email out 2 weeks prior, say, hey, we could not be there, and if not, I'll just send another updated email, and we'll call that good. So, because we'll be right smack in the dab of that runway rehab at that point. So, everything's going great. Super proud of them, and they run it. I'm just there along for the ride and try to give them some guidance. So,
Very good.
You had mentioned one time there might be a vendor for a snack bar or something like that. that down the road some more? Or?
So that was part of my request. If I build that 100 by 100 hangar, I'd like to put a restaurant out to the side.
Oh, okay, that's right.
We're just financially, we don't have, we get around $1,000 a plane that we put in there for a jet. But you can't build a 100 by 100 hangar for $500,000. And there's no way to bank that money from them. So we're going to have to, the city will have to pay for that 500 first, and then they'll come back, the state will come back and refund us the monies. But it's probably 1.3 to build all that, I'd say. So that's down the line, but I'd love to do it. I think it'd be great out there. It just brings a lot more avgas traffic than anything. Smaller planes, because they love just to get out and go have breakfast and lunch, and then it's beautiful out there too. So
Absolutely.
I'll be down the line though. That's on my radar for sure. You want to start cooking out? You want to retire and be a cook out there?
Well, I thought Jeff might want to buy a food truck or something to pull out.
One business I'm not getting into is the food business.
Well, and it's not always dollars and cents. Sometimes having that amenity in Conway is a public service that is kind of a feather in Conway's cap. We're continually doing recruitment for industry and such, and I think the council, maybe if they look at it from the vantage point of, does this enhance our community and make our community a stronger, more attractive place? That's nothing to have that enhancement.
Sure.
So anyway,
that'd be great, and it just would make us more money and make us more attractive. So
right.
Because I mean, that's for sure in terms of making us more attractive.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
I'll send y'all a couple emails out here soon.
Way to go, man.
Thank you.
When I was going to Fargo, knowing that I was going to have to stop somewhere about 2.5 hours in, and I was looking around for airports that either had something on field to eat a bite, or were close enough to a town that it wasn't going to take 15 minutes to drive into town and 15 minutes to drive back. For a decent eating place. And it's probably 20 minutes for Conway to a decent, unless you just want fast food there in front of Walmart, in front of Walmart. So, that I chose to stop, and I paid a little more for gas to be able to go to a place like that than I did, somewhere else. So